I got some inside information for you. Wait, I can't say that. I got some outside information for you when it comes to crypto, and you really want to watch this, and we're starting right now. Hey, welcome back. My name is Paul, and if you're new here, this channel is all about crypto and cryptopreneurship. So make sure you check out the other videos on my channel and see if it's something that you like. Okay, look, it's no secret that being early in crypto, being early in cryptocurrency gives you a massive unfair advantage when it comes to the herd, when it comes to other people getting into crypto. This applies whether you got into crypto early, whether that's a project, whether that's work, whether that's education. Generally speaking, you have an unfair advantage. See, I know a project that's going to launch in the beginning of 2024, probably the first quarter of 2024, and I think it's going to do amazing things. How do I know this? It's very simple. I'm actually part of that project. And when I say I'm part of that project, I mean I actually signed a deal with them. And this project actually has a great concept. We'll talk about it in a second. But I actually met the team. I met the CEO, I met the product director, and the team is really good. Now, don't get me wrong, this is no guarantee. This is no guarantee that the project's going to take off and make you into a multimillionaire. Really, this is crypto. Everything could go to complete shit. They could scam, they could rug pull, they could get hacked. I could get scammed, I could get rug pulled. It's all in the papers here. But I know firsthand that their marketing team, what they're doing with marketing and their roadmap is really, really good. And as you know, marketing for me is key. I mean, I've been in marketing and sales and consumer psychology for over 25 years, and I know that marketing is a key factor to make any product successful. And when I saw the marketing, when I saw the concept, when I saw the onboarding of influencers and YouTubers coming onto this platform, coming onto this cryptocurrency, I knew that this might be very successful. Okay, Paul, okay, fine, this is all great, this is all dandy, but what is this project? You haven't even mentioned this project yet. You're right, let's talk about this project, let's talk about what this project is, and because I never disappoint, the project name is called Lingo, and for more details, let's talk to HM, the CEO. HM, welcome to the Crypto Factor. Super excited to have you here, super excited to talk about Lingo. Thank you so much for doing this, man.
Well, Paul, I'm equally excited, and thanks for having me.
So tell me about Lingo, tell me what Lingo is, and what value it can bring to investors, what value can it bring in the crypto space?
Right on. So Lingo aims to be the most rewarding token in the world. And basically what it brings is the vision to add the most value out of any player in that space. We started by a simple analysis. We saw that there were more than 1 billion people who are interested into getting into crypto in 2021, but only around 3% actually got in. So we were like, if 1 billion plus people wants to get in, that means mass adoption. Why is only 3% getting in and 97% of people they had buying intention, but never made the step forward? And for us, we took a first principles approach when we identified 3 reasons why people don't like crypto. Number 1 is it's super hard to understand. Number 2 is that it's super risky and it's based on thin air for most of them. And number 3 is that it does not have any utility or benefits in the real world. So our wild idea was, let's build a token that is easy to understand, that is based on real value, and that has amazing rewards in real life. And it did not exist in 2021, and we are shocked even today it still does not exist. So this is what we did. We surrounded ourselves with the smartest people we could find, like my co-founder, who's the ex-founder of the #1 premium loyalty company in the world. It's a company that exited for $150 million. And our CMO is an ex-Binance C-level. And our CTO is from an ex-head engineer at Consensus. And so we surrounded ourselves with the smartest people we could find. And basically 2 years later, we engineered a token that's easy to understand. So the way it works is you get Lingo, you receive points every month, like loyalty points, and then you can exchange those points for rewards in real life, like vacations, like shopping, etc., etc. And what's great is that
Sorry. So it's vacations and shopping. So it's not just a holiday token. It's not just fixated on holidays.
Yeah, we want to start with holidays, but then again, the utilities can be endless. It can be shopping, it can be concert tickets, it can be cinema tickets, it can be whatever, whatever people likes, as long as it's real rewards in real life.
Got it. Okay. So explain to me how this actually works. Why does Lingo work?
All right, it works for the other two reasons. And the number one reason is it had to be easy to understand. Number two is it had to work with real tangible value. So most of the projects out there, they base themselves on their ability to build a community that will trade over the long term. But fundamentally, their token is based on nothing tangible in the short term. For us, we wanted our ecosystem to be backed by real assets. So Lingo is fueled by real world assets like real estate that we acquire and that generate cash flow every single month. And the name of the game in token ecosystems is buying pressure. So by acquiring assets, we generate fiat buying pressure every month, which we can use to, and we use 100% of this to buy back our token every single month. So that gives us stable fiat liquidity injection in our ecosystem that makes it more tangible with real value. So that's the second thing that makes it work. And the third thing is obviously real world benefits. How can people use Lingo in real life? And by having a mix of something that's easy to understand, that's based on real value and with real rewards, we think we've solved the pain points, the major pain points of most people in the crypto space. And you don't need to take my word for it. I mean, we've proven it before even launching. We tested the market and we sold around $6 million of Lingo tokens with nearly no marketing, and 60% of people who got into the Lingo ecosystem early were first-time Web3 investors. So it's exactly the people who never invested because it was too hard to understand or too risky.
So how do you bring these people in?
We just told them, hey, it's easy to understand. It's backed by real value. And it has real rewards in real life, and then we have a team to make it happen.
But you mentioned no marketing. How did these people hear about the token?
Barely no marketing. I mean, one of our unfair advantages is that since it's our ambition is to make Lingo global, so we needed a lot of marketing firepower to make this work. You look at the biggest brands in the world like Nike or Red Bull or Apple, they especially Nike, they work with a lot of brand ambassadors. So today we've signed more than 200 celebrities and crypto key opinion leaders, combining around 300 million followers. So it's probably in the top 3 ambassador teams ever seen in probably in the history of cryptocurrency. So but when I say barely any marketing, we approached a few people on LinkedIn, went to a few events, and we were shocked by, in the worst bear market maybe in history of crypto, we were shocked by the enthusiasm of people around something that they saw was different. But this was the first step. Now the next step is to leverage our network of brand ambassadors and go really heavy on marketing to attempt to make Lingo mainstream.
Like what we're doing here.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something. You mentioned real estate as a real asset. Is there any other assets that Lingo is backed up from?
Right now, it's purely real estate. We try to optimize for tier 1 jurisdictions because crypto is already risky enough that on the real world asset side, we don't want to take any risk. So we try to optimize for big brand cities, Paris, Dubai, etc., and hospitality assets, because hospitality assets like Airbnbs, hotels, etc., they also have added utility versus like an office. So token holders can also enjoy staying at those facilities too.
Got it. Real quick. So these real estate, is this verifiable? Is this somewhere that someone can go and have a look at what assets Lingo is holding, and is it verifiable in any sort of way?
Absolutely. Right now, we haven't made any investment yet. We have around 2 million euros in a custodial account purely for the real estate investment. We intend to finally acquire our first portfolio before we launch, but we've raised the funds to do it. And then so once we do that, we'll communicate on it. But then the beauty about Lingo is that we charge transaction fees not to boost fake APY, but we charge transaction fees on the trading volume to acquire even more real estate assets. And so the idea is that if we can sustain a healthy market cap and a healthy daily trading volume over the long term, every single year, we should be able to buy a substantial amount of real world assets that keep on stacking up. And so once we hit this timeline in the roadmap, the idea is to create a DAO that will eventually choose on what real estate we buy, because ultimately all the rent that we generate, the net profits are injected back to buy Lingo. So everything goes to the community, which is why ultimately the idea is to launch a DAO once we get to the trading. But right now, there's around 2 million euros that's in a custodial account that's waiting to be deployed in the next few weeks.
And how does Lingo make profit? The actual company, how do they make money?
That's a really good question, because we really struggle to find something that was aligned with Web3 ideology of community first and transparency. And so we saw a lot of companies, they did 50-50, right? Okay, 50% for the community, 50% for the founders, or 30% for the founders. And for us, it still felt like the old world and the new world. So how do we sustain a team, sustain a company, and also make sure that we are completely community first? So number one was like, we will give everything back to the community, because the more you give that, the more it flywheels. Because the more you buy back tokens and convert them into real rewards in real life, well, the more the community grows organically. Like, think about it. Let's say you are in the Lingo ecosystem, like one of our community members 2 weeks ago, and they were rewarded with a vacation. So you'll talk about it with word of mouth. So it attracts a bigger community way faster than most companies. And so when your community grows, the trading volume is optimized. And when your trading volume is optimized, thanks to transaction fees, we buy even more assets. And now that we have more assets, we have even more buying pressure to fuel even more the rewards ecosystem to attract a bigger community, and vice versa. So that's how the model works. Now, how do we make money out of this? Because the fact that we give everything back to the community is we take debt on the real estate portfolio. And it's a conservative debt, so it's 1-to-1. If we, for example, if we've generated $5 million of transaction fees in year one, then we take $5 million of debt. So we buy for $10 million of assets. And then in 10 to 15 years, when that debt is paid off, then the company is entitled to only that difference. So our promise to the community is everything we raise, quote unquote, with transaction fees, everything is reinjected back to the community for life. We just make the difference if we do a good job over 10 years.
Right, but is that sustainable for the team? Is it sustainable for the business? How do people get paid in Lingo?
Right, so there's two ways the team gets paid in Lingo. One is a part of the transaction fees that we charge. 20% goes back to the team.
Okay.
To obviously, because we need to sustain the whole company. And secondly is on the partnerships. So right now we are onboarding around 100,000 hotels, which is why we are starting with vacations. It's where we have a unfair advantage, let's say, because a few of our Lingo investors are hotel owners. We have the ex-managing director of Booking.com on our advisory board. And so this is the lowest hanging fruit for us. And what we bring to the table for hotels is not only a community, but extra marketing with all the ambassadors. And also we have a way to actually finance our community to go to these hotels, which they've never seen before. Like, imagine, because hotels, they work with affiliates. Imagine you have a community, and your community and hotels, they make deals for your community to go to your hotel. Right now, imagine you have a community, plus you have 200 plus celebrities giving you marketing clouds, plus you actually subsidize your community to go to your hotel. They've never seen that before, and that's the power of Web3. And thanks to those partnerships, we can also monetize to pay the team.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. You know, I used to be in the hotel business, both in timeshare and hotel business. I've done everything there is, from a groom to marketing teams, right? So I can see the potential there. I can actually see it. I mean, hotels want to fill up vacancies, right? And that's the way to do it. So let me ask you something else now. You have a very powerful team, extremely powerful, I would say. it's not just about getting into contact with them and actually pitching them. It's about having credibility yourself. How did you get in touch with this amazing team and get them to work with you in Lingo? Like what I'm saying, what I'm saying is, who are you? What's your backstory? How did you do this?
Right. So I've had the chance to work with some of the top brands in the world for 5 years. We have a family business that's a distributor of around 20 international brands in a few countries. So it's mainly electronic brands like Apple, Oppo, Huawei, Nokia. They also do luxury cars like Maserati, McLaren, Aston Martin. So I used to work with the family business for 5 years and got to learn a lot with international brands. And then I went on my own. I became a master franchisee for Subway. I was the youngest in the world at the time. So I scaled that to around 21 restaurants in 2 countries. And so I did that for 8 years. So really got the chance to learn. Subway is the #1 franchise in the world in terms of restaurant chain. Also learned a lot with them. And I sold everything to Duolingo because for me, it's the biggest opportunity I've ever seen. But frankly, it's also my co-founder because I've sold my business for 7 figures, but I never sold a business for 150 million. And so I'm super grateful to have someone like David who to learn from, who also brought in his experience, and also we really that first principles approach of saying, hey, what's blocking everyone from entering crypto, and let's solve these problems. And we just pitched our idea to people, and they seem to love it.
All right, so let's talk about a little bit about the token. Let's talk a little bit about how somebody can purchase it, and let's see how it can work for them, not just as an investor, but also as something that would reward them. So first of all, the token, it's now December. When is the token launching? Sorry, my dog.
No problems. Soon. We can't really say because we're in the middle of our community building campaign. So our Twitter and Discord is on fire right now. It's still super early, but it's going quite strong week on week. So I would do how do you say? I wouldn't do a favor for the community if I announce it yet, but it's soon.
Okay, cool. So if somebody wanted to buy right now or invest in Lingo, can they?
We have it's somewhere on the website that you can find if you want to get in the private round. We have specific criteria for investors. We look for smart investors who can add value. The minimum ticket is quite expensive. I think it's around $25,000. It should still be open by the time we are talking now, but people can still apply. Or if it's too expensive or they can't really add value, we are announcing a community pre-sale quite soon.
Got you. Okay. Now, let's say you get these tokens, the pre-sale happens, you have these tokens. Great. I have Lingo tokens right now. What can I do with a token?
Right. Most people in getting tokens, and this is the reality in that space. The official stat is 74%. I think it's around 99% of people who get into tokens, they do it to speculate. They want to make 50, 100x. They don't want to make zero. This is most of crypto. For us, it was important to add real value and real rewards in real life. So basically, the way it works is Lingo is still a utility token. It can go up, it can go down.
Yeah.
If it goes up, awesome stuff. We're working very hard to make sure we have a sustainable model. The difference between Lingo and most of the other utility tokens out there is, even if it goes down, you're not obliged to sell, because if it goes down, you're still getting the rewards every single month, and then you can use that for free stuff in real life. So that risk reward is something that we wanted to make sure it adds more value than what you find on the market today.
And these rewards would start by going on holiday to hotels, accommodation, and later on other rewards in other sectors or industries. Am I getting that right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. How do you see the future? Like, tell me that you're on the Crypto Factor right now. Okay, so you need to tell me a secret. You have to tell me a secret that no one else knows yet. I'm putting you in the spot. Yes, you didn't know about that.
That no one knows yet?
Yes, nobody that in the company, obviously people know, but like nobody online right now on YouTube. What's something that you can tell the Crypto Factor that no one else knows?
I think if you're deep in the crypto ecosystem, this is probably something most people know. But we think at least I think this might be the last real crazy bull market, because then all the big players will be there. So those crazy X's in that space, I don't think will be as crazy after that next bull market. And most of the experts I'm talking to are quite excited about next year. I mean, there's a few things happening together, which makes it a perfect anti-storm, whatever you call it, like a white swan event. So you have the US elections happening. It's usually good for the economy. You have the Bitcoin halving, which doesn't mean it will happen again, but 100% of the times it happened in the past, you had a bull run. You have the guys controlling the world like BlackRock, etc.
Yeah, they're entering.
Filing for ETFs. And then also, if you follow Bill Ackman, you remember Bill Ackman? It's an investor. He was an investor who made one of the biggest longs in history in during COVID last year. I think he longed $27 million and made 1 point something billion in profits in a few months. He just said last week that according to him, quantitative easing will start happening in 2024. So if you have these four things happening together, it might be the perfect environment for the crypto space to exponentially go up. I don't think it will happen to that scale in the future. So I think the time is now.
Right. HM, if there was one thing you wish people asked you about Lingo.
Sorry, and I'm saying that really, like Lingo or not Lingo, I don't care. I really think the time is now. What I'm doing personally is I'm putting 5% of all my net asset value in Bitcoin. Because for me, the thinking is that the people who buy Bitcoin are obsessed with Bitcoin. So the community really think this is going to change the world, including me. And so this is what it's not financial advice. This is what I'm doing. What I think is that worst case in 2030, Bitcoin might lose 50% of its value. Best case, if BlackRock gets in, the whole thing happens, I think it can 20x. People like Katie Wood think it's going to be even more, like 50x. But I think it's going to be 20x. So if you put 5% of your net asset value in Bitcoin, worst case in 2030, you've lost half of it. So you've lost 2.5%. It's not the end of the world. It's like an annoying tax. But if you've 20x, you've doubled your net worth by risking 2.5%. And that risk reward I've never seen before in my life. So this is what I'm doing again. And I don't know if that answers your question or not.
It's funny, you're talking to somebody that has 50% of his net worth in Bitcoin. and you have no idea how many altcoins. It's like if crypto goes down, I'm done. I'm ruined. And a lot of people, they hear 5%, they're like, that's not a lot. No, it is a lot because
yeah, but if it 20x's, you'll be a very happy.
Oh yeah,
man.
of course. Yeah, but I mean, it's I've been living off crypto since 2017, so in and out, and always have my long term, and I'm full risk on. So let me ask you a question. If there was one, what's one question you wished people asked you about Lingo, but no one ever does?
I wish people asked me how we managed to. I told you we have around 200 plus KOLs and celebrities. That's only our go-to-market, but financially, because the most important is how you drive value, right? Your economic model, how this helps people in real life. But ultimately, you can have the best product in the world. If no one knows about it, nothing will work. And so for us, if we try to quantify the amount of marketing contracts, because some of these celebrities play for like the French national football team and some are international DJs. Some of these guys charge 100K per story. And we've managed to secure crazy commitments. A lot of them actually signed 100 stories / posts for which we've never done their whole career. And we don't pay anyone. So we don't pay fiat with anyone. We give everyone tokens that are locked for 2 years. Which means that we only want partners. We don't want vendors who really think this will work, because none of them do deals like that, especially celebrities. Imagine coming to a celebrity and saying, hey, instead of paying you 100K for a story, we're going to pay you 0. You're going to be locked for 2 years. You're going to give us 50 posts to 100 posts, which you've never done your whole career. And maybe this can work, or it cannot work. Like most people will say, Paul, like I like you, but this is too extreme. Like no way. We've done that with like 200 celebrities and crypto key opinion leaders. And we try to quantify the value of these marketing contracts. It's anywhere from $30 million to $50 million. And so without Web3 and the tokenomics models, like in the old world, it would be impossible to do that unless you raise $50 million and actually pay these people. So this is the real power of community. It's young guys coming together, people with influence and network and resources, saying, hey, if this works, this will really be awesome for us, but also for the whole community. So let's do it. And thanks to the token economies, you managed to bring in like some of the most famous people in the world behind a vision, which you could never do in other previous business models. And I think this is really revolutionary, but no one talks about it. So this is probably.
Do you have anyone you can tell us as an example, or is it still indie?
Yeah. In the we haven't really revealed anyone because we want to keep the excitement up. But for example, in the French national team, we have Corentin Tolisso, Moussa Dembélé, Kingsley Coman, who was also an investor. If you watch rugby, we have the 7th best rugby player in the world called Romain Tamac, Brian Habana, who's a legend in rugby. In the crypto space, we've signed like really great partners. We have Wolf Financial, who's Gav Blacksburg, who's I think the number one or one of the best in Twitter Spaces. The guy's crazy. He does like 7 hours of Twitter Spaces per day.
Crazy.
He even had Elon Musk on his Twitter Spaces once. That was quite cool. We have Lady of Crypto, who I think she's probably the number one female crypto influencer in the world right now. Did some podcasts with Altcoin Daily. Yeah.
I like Altcoin Daily.
Yeah, they're really cool.
I watched them grow as a channel as well. All right, so you have a great product, you have a great team, you have a great marketing team, you have an even better sales team apparently. Lingo sounds like an awesome investment and opportunity. I really think people should look into it. HM, thank you so much for coming on the channel. I do look forward to seeing you again soon because we do have updates, we do have things to talk about, and I'm super excited to get you back on the channel. Is there anything else you would like to say to the audience watching us today?
Well, thanks for listening. And again, this is what we've done since day one. We've never tried to sell anything to anyone. We just say, hey, this is our vision. And 2 years later, this is what we attracted and people who wants to help us. So again, if you want to help in any way, you can join our Discord. We have awesome rewards for people in our Discord. We just sent one of our community members on a luxury vacation. Someone else is going on a Dubai trip with a skydive. So we are literally airdropping someone from the
that's
sky.
so cool.
So yeah, it's still super early. Lots of rewards for our early community members if you love the vision. And here's the vision. Again, we're not saying this will work, but if it does, imagine right now, let's say you drive around Dubai, you drive around New York City, and you see buildings everywhere. And these buildings are owned by like a group of shareholders. Our vision is that you drive around in 20 years and there's buildings and that you see around, and the whole purpose of these buildings is to generate rewards for the whole community. That would be an awesome world, you know?
So you
it's like McDonald's. McDonald's now, their real business model is real estate, but they generate profits for a bunch of shareholders. What if we could generate profits just to reward the community? And each year this would go more and more and more. So that's the vision. And if you like that vision and you want to help us, you can join our Discord. And yeah, let's attempt to make history.
The links are down below. I'll leave links up here as well. HM, thank you so much for being on here today. I'm super excited, and we will talk again soon. Thank you so much.
Love your energy, man. Thank you.
So there you go. There it is. That is Lingo. Make sure you check the links in the description down below and make sure you do your own research. This is crypto and you need to deeper dive into things before you ape in. If you ape in, because everything can go to crap. You never know. This is crypto, but I really like Lingo. I'm confident about Lingo. Let's see how it does. Watch this video right here next. Subscribe down below. Hit the notification button and I will see you in the next video.